I'm live. Hello, everyone. Patrice here from Satya Organic. I am running a bit behind, as you can see. I'm doing a little bit of a shine down. We are going to be talking today with Dr. Kayla Springer, who just popped up. Hello, Kayla. Okay, I'm going to add you. Hold on, give me 2 shakes here. Hello, everyone. Hi, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, I was late. I was running up the stairs.
Hello. No, me too. I think last time we chatted, you were stuck in the car, and I literally ran in my apartment 5 seconds ago because I was stuck in the car. I was like, oh, it's gonna be the same thing.
Right? Like, isn't that just how we operate, right? Like
Yeah.
we are, especially like right now, everybody's just trying to do so much.
Yeah. Just
So
like get the errands done.
yeah, get the errands done. I know I got a grocery shop today, so I'm not super keen about that. Getting the errands done. And you know what's super interesting for me, at least, and I've been sharing this with a few of my close friends, is that I've been doing a meal tracker, like to try and see what I've been eating. And I've been doing it for a few weeks now, and I've discovered that I'm literally starving myself.
Yeah.
I'm at about 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day.
Wow.
And the calories that I do manage to get, most of them are just super, what is it, not nutrient dense, but calorie dense. So
Hmm.
my body thinks I'm starving.
Why do you think that is, Patrice? Do you think you're just running around and like,
Yeah, it's always like, oh, I need to do this first before I can do that. And
totally
then because I haven't eaten, I'm so hungry and tired. Last thing I want to do is make something
is
healthy.
cook and eat? Yeah, you
Or
just want to
just, yeah, just any kind of like extra effort. So I think like so many of us are in that kind of boat right now
totally.
too. Like we've just got so much to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
Especially as women, right? Like, or
Yes.
if like you're a mom, like it's almost cliche now, this idea that you eat the leftovers on your child's plate, right?
Yeah.
That's such a mom thing to do. I'm gonna wave to people here. Hello, everyone. Wave, wave, wave. Yeah,
Oh,
I think all these, but I think, having these conversations is so awesome that we can all find a way to connect and go, I'm not the only one who's
yeah.
maybe not taking care of myself.
Yeah, you're not alone. And 100%, that's the conversation I have with my patients, everybody, and I have to have with myself every day too. And it's like, make time for the basics. You can't take care of everyone else. You can't run around. You can't do what you're meant to do in this world if you're not nourishing your body, your mind, your soul. But, and in
Hmm.
this conversation, your body, the very
Yeah.
basics, right?
And I think like trying to find a way to shift the mindset on that, because in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ways, it just feels like one more freaking task,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like one more
Mm-hmm.
thing I have to do, or one more thing I'm not doing good enough on,
Totally.
right?
Yeah, and then the guilt that comes with that too. It's like, oh, I'm not eating and I should embody this, but
Yeah.
we're all human. We can only do so much.
Yeah, I was literally like I was chatting with a friend of mine yesterday about it, and I was in tears, like because I just felt like,
Hmm.
I'm supposed to be a mom. I'm supposed to be around to take care of my little girl,
Hmm.
and I'm not taking care of myself. Like it's
Hmm.
just anyway, it's my little diatribe of stuff that I've been thinking about today. How are you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. That's my daily mind. So I'm right there with you, right there with you. But yeah, I'm really stoked to talk about skin and topical steroid withdrawal and
Yeah.
on that note of being able to take care of ourselves and sort of just be kind to what's going on and
Hmm.
recognizing that we're all human and we're all in this process and journey together, especially is important when it comes to anything, but definitely with skin stuff and eczema and topical steroid withdrawal.
Hmm. Let's, for those of us, because I feel like this is, I mean, some of us or have had this conversation, but I think we need to keep having this conversation because it's never like a
Yeah,
one and done, right? There are other people who don't know, and sometimes we just need to be reminded of what, how we need to be good to each other and good to ourselves.
100%.
So
Yes.
why don't you start by, if you don't mind, just telling people a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do, all that
Yes.
kind of jazz.
Yes. So my name is Dr. Kayla Springer. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm in Squamish, BC, which is just an hour north of Vancouver. It's beautiful here. Always out in nature, lots to do. Naturopathic medicine, what naturopathic doctors focus on mainly is prevention and recognizing the whole person is a whole person and exactly that. So instead of giving you an Advil and saying see you later, see you never for your headache, we're going to try and find out why you have a headache in the first place, what's causing it, how to prevent it from happening, and also recognizing that your headache or your issue or whatever it may be is different from mine, is different from someone else's, and that we all will need a unique approach. And so that's sort of how I treat people and how I approach things, also recognizing that health is so much more than just the physical body. Um, how it ties into the mental, emotional, spiritual realms. And I really try and bring that into my interactions with my patients and make everybody feel heard and understood and appreciated for who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely so important and lacking, I think, in just health and life in general.
Hmm.
Um,
I think, to a certain extent, we've always been taught that like once you know what the issue is, oh, then
yeah.
everything's fine. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, it's not. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
so much stuff that has to happen, so much interconnectedness, and it's not a cure, it's a practice.
Exactly. Yeah, life is a practice, and
Hmm.
just slapping a label on it doesn't really make it go away, or is
Hmm.
sometimes not helpful at all. So
So for those who aren't familiar, and just for all of it, so it's TSW, topical steroid
hmm
withdrawal. There's another
hmm
one too that people use,
red skin syndrome
red
is
skin
one, or
syndrome,
topical steroid addiction is
right?
another, kind
Yeah.
of all around the same thing.
So explain this to me like I've never heard of it before.
Sure. So basically, topical steroid withdrawal is a process that happens when the body physiologically, or the skin, sorry, physiologically as an organ becomes addicted to topical steroids. And then when those are taken away, the body goes into a massive inflammatory sort of detox, restabilizing reaction. So it looks a lot like eczema, but it can be a lot more intense. And a lot of the time it happens to people who have eczema because we're the type of people who are using the steroid creams. And then what can happen is people just end up with this crazy, what they think is eczema, what they think is just a worsening of their skin rash. Well, in reality, it's something different. So basically, yeah, topical steroid withdrawal is a worsening of eczema. And what happens is um, how it normally presents or how it normally comes about is a person will be likely using steroids, topical steroids most common, but sometimes it can happen with oral. And it's usually skin, it's always skin. Their skin will start to get worse. If they have eczema, it kind of will grow into areas that it never has been before. It starts just looking worse. And the biggest thing I hear from people that start going through topical steroid withdrawal is that it just feels different.
Mm.
Like they've lived in their body with eczema their whole lives for the most part, and they know that process. They know how it feels. And that's what the biggest thing, they just tell me it's not eczema. It feels different. It's something different.
Hmm.
Um,
Can you get topical steroid withdrawal while still using steroids?
Yeah, so a lot of the time the process starts while the person is still using steroids. So um, again, it's kind of the same. Like the skin will start getting worse. It'll start changing in character. At this time, maybe you're still using the topical steroids to try and calm it down. And then they still may work, but they'll start to work less and less, and usually the skin will get worse and worse. By this point, most people have been to their dermatologist, to their doctors, to the ER. I went to the ER. I went to two ERs trying to figure out what was happening to me. Um, and unfortunately, a lot of dermatologists and medical professionals are still not aware that this can happen. So a lot of the time people will end up being told that it's just stronger steroids, or they'll be put on oral steroids, or sometimes even chemotherapy drugs that shut down the whole immune system. Um, So then you're dealing with, the underlying eczema, which is a foundational problem. Also this massive detox reaction and inflammation that's happening. And then on top of that, if you're still compounding the problem by trying to suppress the immune system, a lot of people end up in a really not a bad place, but just a chaotic place. In the meantime, they have no idea what is happening to them. They feel unvalidated. It's very scary too, to have your body just start to revolt and react, and you Google it and you've been to doctors and you don't know. You don't know, like,
Mm.
what is this? What is this?
So when somebody comes to you and says, I've been using steroids for my eczema, I want to get rid of it, stop using it, I want to use something else, or I want to get to at least that root cause, what are the steps that you would usually go through with your patients to try and remove steroids from their daily use?
So yeah, definitely right off the bat is sometimes I'll have people come in and they'll say they're in topical steroid withdrawal. Some people come in and they think they might be, but are either in denial or unsure. Excuse me. So the first thing is just, I think, recognizing the person where they're at mentally and emotionally, and realizing that it's a scary process, especially with skin and TSW. Physically, how I normally approach it is looking at each person. They're all very different, and my presentation of eczema might be stemming from something different than yours. So
Mm-hmm.
normally the foundational pieces that kind of lead into an eczema or atopic or TSW development sort of picture, um, are things like your birth, if you were vaginally born or born C-section, how you were fed, if you were breastfed, all of your early life experiences like that can influence your immune system development.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And can we, and for those of you who aren't aware of it's not, this is not like some woo woo, like how you were born into the
mhm.
world. It literally has to do with your microbiome and the bacteria
Yes.
you were exposed to, and how that makes you have a stronger immune system. So this is science we're talking about here, not
Yes. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for clarifying that. I am
yeah.
talking about physically being born. Were you physically born vaginally or C-section? And like you said, that will affect how your microbiome, which dictates how your immune system develops in your body. So yes, this has been shown. There's ongoing development, just researching the extent of the effect that our microbiome and the gut bacteria do affect our skin, our health, our mental health, anything really. But
Mm-hmm.
especially the gut and the skin have a really tight connection. So on that note as well, is looking at the gut health is 100% what I do in all of my patients, regardless of if they have skin issues or other issues. But the gut, again, scientifically speaking, because of the immune system and because of just how it is, has been shown to be implicated in really all areas of our health. Like the
Mm-hmm.
saying, we are what we eat, has merit to it.
I find the connection between gut bacteria and mental health to be really interesting too, like the good
Yes,
food and the good
totally.
state of being in yourself. Um, but getting again more specifically back to my original question,
Hmm.
someone walks in, like, how do you get the most steroids without them going into topical steroid withdrawal?
Yes. Okay. So there's still a lot unknown about topical steroid withdrawal, about why some people will go into it, what causes it. It could be partly genetic. It could be some of those early childhood experiences. It could be a toxic trigger. Your toxic systems are overloaded. Um, so to answer that, it's really quite hard because we just simply don't have enough information. I don't know if you come in with eczema using steroids, if you're going to develop TSW or not. So the approach is really the same. It's to try and have the person rebalance their body, their immune system, get their detox pathways going, make sure their gut health is in order, make sure the foundations are in order, like you said. So making sure you're getting enough calories, enough nutrients, enough sleep. Those are the foundational pieces that I go through for everyone. And some people might need a little bit more help getting their detox pathways optimized. Some people might need a little bit more help getting their gut bacteria in order. And so by sort of using a targeted approach and figuring out what's exactly going on for that person, we can start to build those foundations and sort of figure out which areas they need support in and to sort of taper them off the steroids. If they start exhibiting signs of topical steroid withdrawal, that's when you know that you sort of really need to hit the immune system. You need to hit the histamine response, which is another thing. And it sort of becomes more about damage control at that point, while still managing the foundational pieces. So the foundational pieces are huge. They're what we do for everything.
And the foundational pieces, it's the root system, the root cause of the eczema in the first place. And then if you've got that, I'm guessing in line, that even if you do get TSW, that it's not going to be quite as severe and it's easier to manage.
That's the hope. So, there's the two pieces. There's the underlying eczema and then, or whatever, and then there's the TSW. So like you said, if you do end up going into that response of your body just needs to detox, to recalibrate, it needs some time to just rebalance itself. Yeah, totally. Like the hope is that by balancing the foundations, by making sure your immune system can handle it, by your body is still going to go through the process of what it needs to do, but by allowing it to, do that process in a way that's supported and everything is working, then the goal is, we can get through it quicker. We can use it to learn. We can use it as an experience to connect with our bodies. And then the hope is after your body processes the topical steroid withdrawal, those underlying issues like eczema or whatever are gone. And you can now live life without even needing to think about steroids at all.
Can you explain more about the histamine response?
Yes. So that's one of the biggest pieces that comes with topical steroid withdrawal. So right off the bat, people with TSW, if you've ever had it, you know this, and even if in eczema, you'll feel really hot, you'll feel really red, you'll feel really allergic, you'll feel really inflamed. And this is the same for anybody who's ever had seasonal allergies as well. It's the same sort of response, like you just feel inflamed. So what happens in topical steroid withdrawal is that the skin will start to sort of exemplify this histamine response, because the skin is the organ that has been suppressed with the steroids. So basically the whole body, but especially in the skin, will start to develop a lot of histamines. And so what you'll see is that really hot, that really red, that really sort of explosive allergic sort of picture. And if you've seen anybody with TSW, right off the bat, this can happen. And this is sort of the initial first 2 or 3 months. I say a lot of the time, it's just that initial rebound, hot, red. That's the name of the game. And when I see people like this in this stage, my approach again is to hit the foundations, but it's really to get the histamine down fast.
And how would you do that?
So there are different pathways, and again, it goes into looking at where you think the issue is. So when you have a histamine overload in the body, it could be, are you eating too many histamines? Are you taking too many in? Are you not breaking them down properly? Is there an enzyme issue that you're not able to excrete the histamine? So there's a few different ways that I hit it, kind of all three of those, especially with TSW, when at this point you do care why it's happening, but also it's just so crazy. You just kind of want to hit it at all angles to get it down. So there are some supplements, herbs, and enzymes I use, as well as diet, and being aware of how to avoid histamines first in what you're eating, and also just the practical things of avoiding allergens, filtering your air, making sure your environment is clean and toxin free. All of those will help your body decrease histamines.
And what if they've gone beyond that initial honestly, when I see it, it looks like they've been dropped in oil. It's just the whole burned almost in the more severe cases. But then I see people who've gone beyond that
Yeah.
to just flake,
Yeah.
skin atrophy, their hair is falling out.
Mm-hmm.
What can people do when they get to that point?
So topical steroid withdrawal is crazy. So at first it's like that and this is can be completely different for everyone. So what I'm saying now is very general. It's the pattern I see most, but it's crazy and your experience may be very different. So
Mm-hmm.
but what I see mostly is that initial sort of hot red phase, and that's, a few months. And then people start to move into that, like what I call more of a cycling. So you might see like that really flaky, like it's crazy. Like when I had it, I swear I shed my entire skin in a day. Um, the amount of flakes that come off of you, and the skin might be really raw underneath. Other phases you might see are, like you said, that elephant skin. So it's atrophied. It looks like elephant skin. It looks like very, has no elasticity, no bounce back. It just looks like old
Mm-hmm.
skin, I
And it's
guess.
thick.
And it's very thick. Like if you,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like very wrinkly and weird. And then you might find another phase where there's a lot of ooze coming out. It almost looks like an infection, and you should always get it checked out. But this is another just fun thing of TSW. Sometimes you just ooze all over and you don't know if it's what's going on. So I think,
See, it makes me so like, why
yeah,
steroids have their place. They
yes,
can be,
but
effective here and there, but
mm-hmm,
why? Like, it just makes me crazy that they're putting so
mm-hmm,
many people into this situation where they can
mm-hmm.
end up like this.
Yeah, and it's very like, people say, oh, it's eczema, your eczema is getting worse, but it's very different, and all of these people have very similar kind of experiences, like the hot red, and then the kind of strange cycling of oozy, flaky elephant skin. It's very interesting. So to answer your original question, if someone comes in with those sort of different
Mm-hmm.
like phases, what I always say is listen to your body. And then because it can change like that, like when I was going through it and I have patients that see it, their skin can be flaky one day, oozy the next day, hot and red the next day. Um, and sometimes they're able to tie this to like their diet and whatnot, because a lot of the time, it's diet, it's gut health, and that's all true. But a lot of the time also you're just in such a reactive phase that you might not be able to really see those triggers. So working with someone who knows what they're doing, and also just having the faith that you are doing what you can to heal your own body, because at the end of the day, that's all you can do.
Exactly. Because we need to give each other like compassion
Yeah.
around this. Like, if you are covered in red, sore, oozy elephant skin with dry skin flaking everywhere, maybe you don't feel like eating properly.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. 100%. And that's what I tell people. They're like, should I avoid everything? And I'm like, well, but where's your sanity? Like, you're already feeling terrible and
Yeah.
not great. Like, do you really want to also eliminate foods? And also on that point, if you're starting to eliminate foods, are you cutting out the nutrients that your body needs to heal?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm very cautious about, putting everyone on elimination diets. And I also totally empathize and understand with the fact that while we're in this, it's so hard to just sit by and let it kind of do its thing. We
Mm-hmm.
want to do something, we want to take something, we want to heal, we want to act.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, to a certain extent, that's why people are looking for the miracle cure, like the pill,
Hmm.
because they're
Hmm.
just freaking tired. They've already got a
Yeah.
million things and they don't feel good, and they're in pain. So I've been trying to do a new practice for myself, which is at the end of the day, because I run my own business, right?
Hmm.
The to-do list is never over.
Never ending.
Never, ever, ever. And I think that's kind of the same for everybody. The to-do
Hmm.
list is never, ever over. And it's like, sometimes I say to myself, I've done enough for today.
Hmm.
And that's been really liberating for me.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
think if they can just do, like, doing one small thing every day
Yes.
is going to be way more impactful than doing everything right off the get-go.
And
Because that's not
sometimes
sustainable.
totally. And sometimes one small thing is taking a nap, honestly, taking a rest, drinking a glass of water, stepping outside. Like, it doesn't have to be anything intense.
Yeah. Naps are awesome.
So awesome.
So awesome. So I love that doctor's advice is like, have a nap. I
Have a
like
nap,
it.
take care of yourself, drink a glass of water. It will
Drink
do
a glass
more.
of
It will
water.
do more for your health than anything.
Hmm.
And be kind to yourself.
Well, and you know, there's, I mean, as I have like a skincare company, but I always say to
Hmm.
people, you know, the one product in the world that might cost, you know, $1 million or whatever is never going to work as well as having a drink of water.
Yeah,
Because that is going to make your skin look way better than some other thing that you
100%.
spent like all this money on. So,
100%. Yeah.
I mean, do both. Have water
Do
and but
both,
and then
yes.
use Satya, but yeah.
Well, I mean,
Drink water.
and I love Satya too. On that note of topicals, I just want to touch on because everybody asks about topicals and supplements. That's the biggest thing. And for topicals, a lot of people are doing nothing right now too. No moisturizer treatment, which can be really uncomfortable for some people. So, you know, when people do ask for topicals, I say very, very, very simple. Keep it simple. Keep it
Mm-hmm.
simple. Keep it clean. Listen to your body. And like, that's why I love your product as well, because it's simple.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you actually know what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, simple doesn't always mean the best too. Like, I don't know if you've heard of this thing. I just heard about it a couple days ago called slugging or something. And people are putting Vaseline on their faces before they go to bed at night. And I'm just like, okay, first off, it's a petroleum product, gross, but it doesn't
Yeah.
breathe and it traps
Yeah.
bacteria on your skin. So
Yeah.
you end up like if you have anything going on with your skin, like that's going to just there the bacteria is going to be
Mm-hmm.
like this is our happy place, man. It's going to become a
Mm-hmm.
disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
simple's not
Mm-hmm.
always the best answer, but it's at least you can research into it versus these products with like
Yes.
laundry lists of ingredients. So
Yes. Great. Thank you for that clarification. Simple and quality.
simple and quality. Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
It's been a half hour. Again,
Okay.
it's so fast.
Amazing. As always. Okay, well, we'll have to do it again then because I see
Yes.
there's always people looking for information on this. And I've created a couple guides to help people like get more information and guide like just basic like what to expect for TSW 101. This is sort of how it goes. Um,
Oh, we would love to share that. We'll see if we can share it on our pages and
Great.
feel free to
Yeah,
share anything this or whatever on any of your stuff because I feel like the more
totally.
information people have, the better.
The more information, the better. I just want people to know they're not alone. Like,
Yeah,
you're not alone. It's a thing.
you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Likewise, it was really nice chatting with you.
Yeah, you too. Again, and we'll
Okay,
have you back again because
great,
we're gonna keep doing this until
amazing.
there's no more TSW.
Yes, okay, we've got a mission. We've got a
We got a
mission.
mission. All right, you're awesome.
Okay, have
Thank
a
you
great
so much.
afternoon.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Okay, now how do I shut this off?